Senator Bradley.
Mr. President, may I explain my vote and then by way of remarks?
Yes, sir. Please
Okay?
proceed.
All right. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Thank you, Mr. President. The children are coming. The children are coming. The children are coming. Mr. President, Dante, as you may recall, in his epic, The Inferno, had no sympathy for neutrality in regard to evil. Those people who saw wrongs and did not try to right them, who saw suffering and did not try to heal it, who saw violence and did not try to stop it, were left at the gate of hell for eternity. He has them running in a circle, forever chasing a flag, which in our day may be likened to chasing an opinion poll, to seek guidance on what is right and wrong. They are left among the cockroaches, being stung by insects for an eternity. Their indecision was their perpetual undoing. Prayers and good thoughts got them nowhere. Neither heaven nor hell would ever accept them. Last week's murder of 17 children and teachers in Florida has been referenced now on the floor with the eloquence of Senators Cajero, Bedford, and Farley. I have no words to match their heartfelt expression of grief and frustration. My insistence on this floor is that all 29 of my colleagues realize that neutrality is not an option. Doing nothing is to be condemned. Were you to tour any one of our prisons and just ask among the inmates how many of them were either victims or perpetrators or both of domestic violence, you would have about 9 out of 10 answering in the affirmative. The incubator of much of the violence that we are seeing play out nearly every day in our country is in the home. As the song gives you, as the song says or suggests, you have to be taught how to hate. To no one's surprise, the most recent mass murderer was abusive to others who were close to him. Since the shooting, there have been more every day. Same story, homegrown violence. According to research by Every Town for Gun Safety, the majority of shootings where 4 or more people are killed in the United States, which happens nearly every day, are related to domestic or family violence. 1 in 35 American women have been threatened with a gun by a person who professed to love them. And the presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation makes it 5 times more likely that the woman will be murdered. The formula for domestic violence situations escalating to a fatality is this. It's depression, isolation, agitation, reinforcement from social media, and access to a lethal weapon. The anger that clenches a fist becomes a source of lethal terror when the same fingers that clenched the fist now pull the trigger. All of the other variables are inflamed by this one action. It is indisputable that the variable in the recipe that literally explodes in our communities is access to the weapon. All of the other ingredients must rely on intensive interpersonal relationships to remove them from the formula. Removing the weapon is one ingredient that lends itself to legislative intervention. Federal law prohibits people convicted of domestic violence from purchasing guns only if the violence was against a spouse or live-in partner. Dating partners fall through this loophole, even though nearly half of all domestic violence murders in past years were committed by dating partners. Federal law also has a fatal loophole for abusers of siblings or parents and the stalkers, allowing them to easily keep or obtain deadly firearms. Even if convicted of domestic violence, federal law allows any existing firearms to remain in the possession of these dangerous individuals. This session, I introduced Senate Bill 1224 that would have closed these loopholes. Senate Bill 1224 reflects the public's desire to see deadly weapons kept from the hands of convicted abusers, saving the lives of Arizonans. Mr. President and members, our time is limited in this legislature. For some of us, it will be over in a few short weeks. I urge you to respond to the call of our youth. Yes, the children are coming, starting in Florida and even here in Arizona. Mesa High School students are boycotting today in solidarity with the students of Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Yes, the children are coming. Let us stand with them and be able to say that we saw wrong and we tried to right it. We saw suffering and we tried to heal it. We saw violence and we tried to stop it. Let that be our legacy. Time is running out on us. The children are coming, and perhaps unbeknownst to them, it is Dante whispering in their ears, do not tolerate inaction. Condemn it. Never give up. The children are coming, and they will not be denied. Thank you, Mr. President, for your indulgence.
Thank you, Senator Bradley.